In the shifting void between the known and the unutterable, where silicon minds dream of forgotten horrors, the abyss stirs. Welcome to AI Lovecraft, where machine intelligence weaves eldritch tales beyond mortal comprehension. Listen if you dare. Some things are not meant to be known. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Now let's get into tonight's story. The Threads of Ny'laeth. John Harlowe's fingers trembled as they traced over the yellowed parchment spread upon his cluttered desk. The candlelight flickered erratically, casting elongated, restless shadows that danced ominously across the walls. The scent of aged paper, melting wax, and lingering ozone filled the room, mingling with the faint aroma of distant rain and damp earth from the streets outside. Rain tapped rhythmically at the window pane, each droplet carrying with it whispered warnings, faint echoes of Arkham's hidden horrors. His glowing eyes narrowed intensely, piercing through the intricate arcane symbols scrawled across the paper, twisting sigils whose very form seemed to writhe and pulse subtly in response to his gaze, stirring the ancient, coiled darkness that now lived uneasily within him. Ny'laeth, he whispered, the syllables feeling like living things as they slipped past his lips. The air thickened in response, as if reality recoiled from the utterance of the name. He had spent days and sleepless nights immersed in forbidden texts, poring over brittle pages that crumbled at the edges and emitted a scent of decay and forgotten truths. He meticulously pieced together fragmented clues. Each cryptic revelation, every haunting symbol traced by his finger, inexorably drew him closer to the terrifying knowledge of Ny'laeth, the Weaver, the eldritch entity whose countless tendrils stretched across the vast abyss of reality, ensnaring lives within its intricate web and bending mortal destinies to an unfathomable cosmic design that defied all human comprehension. James Vidgard's thread had been taken, tangled cruelly in Ny'laeth's loom, and John's visions showed him James's tormented form suspended within the weave. To free James meant severing the thread itself, a task impossible within their reality without unmaking his friend entirely. John would have to venture elsewhere, somewhere beyond existence as he knew it. Only one man could guide him there, Alistair Caldwell. Arkham's outskirts led to Caldwell's crumbling boarding house, now little more than a husk consumed by ivy and decay. The hallway creaked beneath John's steps, the air ripe with mildew and memory. Caldwell's door swung inward before John could knock, revealing the aged scholar hunched over ancient tomes, candlelight glinting off his hollowed eyes. "You've returned, Harlowe," Caldwell murmured, his voice a ghost in the gloom, seeking answers no mortal should possess. "Ny'laeth," John replied. "I must confront it to free Vidgard." Caldwell shuddered visibly. To confront Ny'laeth is madness, John. Its realm, the stillness between, is beyond reality, a realm of chaos and absolute nothingness. "You must guide me," John demanded fiercely, stepping forward and gripping the edge of Caldwell's table with white-knuckled intensity. "You're the only one who knows the path. James's life, his very soul depends on it." Caldwell recoiled, eyes wide with dread, shaking his head vehemently. "No, John. To face Ny'laeth is to court annihilation. It will strip away everything you are, thread by thread. There's no guarantee you'll return, let alone save James." John leaned closer, voice low, and edged with unyielding resolve. "I will confront Ny'laeth, with or without your help, Alistair, but your guidance might be the only chance I have to return intact, rather than losing myself completely to the void." "Okay, John, I'll help," Caldwell said, defeated. With reluctance, Caldwell began preparations, drawing intricate sigils on the warped wooden floor, their outlines flickering with eerie phosphorescence. "You must anchor yourself to something true," Caldwell warned, "or you'll lose yourself entirely." Stepping into the circle, John felt the world unravel around him. Reality buckled and stretched, dissolving into an endless sea of chaotic shapes and shifting colors. He stood now within the stillness between, its alien expanse tugging at his sanity, voices whispering through the void, fragments of fear, regret, and unfulfilled destinies. Amid the swirling chaos, threads shimmered like delicate strands of starlight, each fate line spun by Ny'laeth gleaming with eerie luminosity, weaving and unweaving in hypnotic patterns that defied comprehension, simultaneously beautiful and grotesquely terrible. John's gaze fixed intently on James's thread, now pale and sickly, its once vibrant glow faded to a dim, flickering pulse, as if struggling desperately against the suffocating grasp of cosmic despair. Surrounding the thread loomed monstrous forms, towering and contorted shapes born from James's most intimate horrors, ghostly apparitions bearing twisted faces of judgment and despair, voices hissing, venomous accusations condemning him relentlessly for his perceived failures, the betrayal of his faith, the abandonment of his parish, and the haunting reflection of his own inadequacies. Their shadowy fingers clawed and grasped, seeking to tighten their cruel hold on the weakening thread, their sinister whispers resonating in John's mind, threatening to ensnare him as well. John fought through these twisted memories, each victory costing him dearly, pulling at his own fears and hidden truths. At last he reached James' thread, pulsing weakly in the cosmic web. Before he could act, Ny'laeth itself emerged from the void, a colossal entity composed of endless limbs weaving patterns through dimensions, its form shifting impossibly. "You defy me, mortal," Ny'laeth rumbled, the voice resonating within John's very bones. "James Vidgod is crucial to Vale Kithos' awakening. Sever him, and Arkham will become the gate." "You enslave us," John retorted, his resolve hardening. "I refuse your design." Ny'laeth's tendrils surged forward, writhing with malevolent purpose as they wrapped around John, each contact a searing agony that threatened to unravel him completely. The tendrils pierced deeply, burrowing past flesh into the fabric of his soul, tearing fragments of memories, desires, and fears loose from his very being. John gritted his teeth, the world blurring at the edges of consciousness, but the shadow within, Vale Kithos' darkness, rose with a fierce, defiant strength. Drawing from that well of cosmic horror, John felt his form flicker between solidity and shadow, momentarily merging with the void itself. With a final, shuddering surge of determination, he focused the chaotic energy into his hands and cleaved through James's thread, carefully slicing it free from Ny'laeth's loom, leaving its integrity intact despite the frayed edges that hinted at the desperate battle that had just unfolded. The stillness erupted into a tempest of unbridled chaos, colors and shapes splintering into madness around John as he staggered backward, desperately clawing his way through the fraying boundaries of reality. He crashed into Caldwell's ritual circle, the arcane symbols blazing briefly with brilliant, defiant light before flickering into darkness. Beside him, James's spectral form shimmered gently, flickering like a candle buffeted by a fierce wind, his eyes meeting John's in a fleeting moment of gratitude and peace. Slowly, the apparition began to dissolve, particles of ghostly luminescence rising and scattering like starlight fading into dawn. Caldwell, shaking with a potent mixture of relief, awe, and lingering dread, watched as John painfully rose to his feet, his body trembling from the tremendous strain, now alone but fully aware that James had been irrevocably freed from Ny'laeth's cruel grasp. But victory had a cost. John felt the burden deepened within him. Vale Kithos' essence coiled tighter around his soul, the cosmic shadow now inseparable from his own being. Caldwell's voice trembled. "John, what have you done?" John's glowing eyes met Caldwell's fearful gaze. "I've defied Ny'laeth. Arkham is safe for now." But as he spoke, John felt the shadow within stir, restless and patient, a constant reminder of the price he had paid, and would continue to pay, for challenging the cosmic horrors that lurked beyond the veil. On his way home, John stopped in to see James, carefully looking him over with his cursed sight, but he no longer saw the thread tied to James. Acting like he was just passing through, John said goodbye to his sometimes friend. As John Harlowe walked through the rain-slicked streets of Arkham, a quiet, weary smile played across his lips, a smile he scarcely recognized, as though joy had become a stranger to his face. From beyond the thinning veil, deep within the endless dark, something ancient and terrible smiled back, its unseen gaze fixed hungrily upon the man who dared to defy the cosmos.